All right, guys, welcome to Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric Hobbs. Right now, we are talking about Nate Johnson, the transfer edge rusher coming to Mizzou from Appalachian State. Before we begin, please, guys, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Spotify. All right, so Nate Johnson is a 6'5", 240-pound edge rusher out of Appalachian State, originally from Gaffney, South Carolina, hometown of President Frank Underwood. Those of you who watch House Cards. He's a three-star transfer. Highly rated three-star, 88 on three. 2 years of eligibility coming to Missouri. This past year, 34 tackles, 2.5 sacks, one very violent forced fumble that he recovered. That happened against Georgia Southern right at the end of the year. He did have 7.5 sacks as a freshman in 2023, so keep that in mind. As far as, who he's visiting, again, I say it a lot. It's a big mystery a lot of the times. Kentucky and Louisville appeared to have interest. That's really all I got. I don't know beyond that, to be honest with you. I tried to find out, but there's only so much out there. As far as a scouting report, well, he played outside backer for Appalachian State. Okay. So the background of his play is a little bit different than you might expect for an edge rusher. A lot of time in a 2-point stance, a lot of time covering passes. So things probably will be a little bit different as he attacks off the edge. At least some of the time, I would anticipate he'll be in a 3-point stance. I wouldn't think that would impact his effectiveness too much, but it's something to keep in mind. And maybe they just keep him at 2-point stance. Who knows? As far as wrinkles that the defense can use, well, it's a wrinkle, and you see it every now and again for a scheme where a D lineman, a D end specifically, can drop back into like pass coverage in the flats or whatever else. You might see Johnson do that on occasion. Again, a wrinkle, not anything that will be a primary focus of Corey Batoon's defense, but a fun wrinkle all the same. His rush is a speed rush. He comes at you quick, and the tackles are going to have good footwork, quick footwork, or Johnson's just going to go right around him. All right. And when he arrives, the dude is just violent with his hitting. He gets to the quarterback with a bad attitude. Now, for Missouri, you're talking about a position here where you have a lot of depth, but Missouri did not have a top edge rusher, a number one. All right. Similar to wide receiver and Missouri going to get in Kevin Coleman. A little bit like that, where you add Nate Johnson. Now you have perhaps a top edge rusher. All right. He joins guys like Zion Young, Eddie Kelly, Ja'Kai Lang, and don't forget about Darius Smith, who was hurt, blew out his knee, missed this past season. So, along with those four who are coming back, Missouri has these five. Remember, that's a lot of depth. That's rotation, and it was needed. Johnny Walker Jr. out of eligibility. You look to young guys who might develop. Well, Williams Nwaneri, of course, the 5-star, and then Jalen Brown as well, also in the transfer portal, both gone. So, yeah, as far as having a top guy, it was needed. With these five guys all in the mix, you get to a point where, especially if Johnson is as effective as you hope, it's a little bit different. This past year, 2024, Missouri's pass rush was stop Johnny Walker. And to some extent, that was it, as far as what the other team had to plan for. It's an exaggeration, of course, but you get the idea. Missouri all of a sudden may have some depth, especially if Darius Smith is kind of as advertised before he went down with the knee. With Robinson, I think you're looking at a guy, there's every expectation that he will if nothing else, rotate heavily and play a lot. I think you're looking at somebody Missouri expects to be a starter. I like the fact he's got 2 years of eligibility. Missouri suddenly is looking at a lot of these transfers as not being one and done final year of eligibility guys. You have that, yes, but Missouri's adding guys who are sophomores and juniors who it's not just almost like a rental. That's good. That that helps Missouri from turning into like Kentucky basketball under John Calipari, where it was just a group of five-star freshmen every single year. You have kind of a core group that has multiple years to gel and get to know each other and be invested in the program. So that's a good thing. Again, with this group of five, I don't see Missouri making any more moves for edge rushers. D tackle, maybe, but D line might be done. So we'll see what happens with that. As far as what I think about this, my guess, yeah, I like it a lot. I think he has a chance to do some damage. I think the speed is going to be a factor. I'm really curious to see if his speed it messes up some of these tackles that you SEC. I think there's going to be times where it does. We'll keep it covered with everything going on with Mizzou recruiting. Trying to get through these four. That's the goal on this Sunday. We'll see if I get there, but we'll get there soon if we don't. Until next time, thank you guys for watching.